Hey, you guys. So let's talk about something real quick. So this whole uh, Keke Palmer situation. Now, this is something that I've talked about in the past couple years ago. One of my videos about when I was talking. I can't remember the title, but it has to do with dating. And I have to say, when you're dating someone, what dating means, the actual definition of dating means, is that when you're dating someone, that person's not your boyfriend or your girlfriend. You'll gather information to determine if you want to embark on a relationship with that person, and if you want to eventually, when you brought to relationship, you guys become boyfriend and girlfriend, or man and woman or whatever. And so when you're dating someone, gather information, about that person. You know what I'm saying? Tell that person, if you got standards, you need to express those standards. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem in the world today. People so quick to want to lay up with people and hook up and put their penises and vaginas, but not take time to get to know that person. You know, because if we are being honest, how are you with someone and you have these conversations? And my thing is this. When you are a couple, whether married or not, you guys need to have united front in public. You know what I'm saying? You don't sit there in public and go get somebody. Because it would have been worse if they were husband and wife. Because how you going to sit and go get your wife like that? You're supposed to support and uplift your wife. So it would have been worse if she was his wife. You know what I'm saying? But it's bad because, like, this is your woman. She's the mother of your child, just gave birth. And instead of supporting, the mother of your child, you go against. You know. And if you knew you had those standards, you knew when you met her how she was. Because there's no way you didn't know. Like, and being honest, I never knew who he was until he was with her. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know Keke. We don't know him. I'm like, who's this guy? Don't even know him. And so you sit there, you blast, but months before the situation with Usher, and it's mainly because she was dancing with Usher. Since she's giving birth, I don't know, it had to be him taking those pictures. She's been leaving the house dressed a certain way, and if y'all living together, you see her dressed like that, and you didn't say anything. So clearly, you don't have an issue about how she's dressed. You had the issue with the fact that she would dance with someone, and I get that because I want to speak. I feel like when you are in a relationship, respect that person. You know what I mean? Be mindful. Don't allow. You know what I'm saying? Even though you're not married, still your relationship. You just had. You know what I'm saying? You have a child with this person. Be respectful and be like, okay, I'm not gonna dance, or don't be so close. And I guess Usher. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a fan of Usher. You know what I'm saying? But you don't want to put somebody in a situation that makes them look bad. But just have enough respect not to be too close. I ain't really saying anything wrong with the outfit. You know what I'm saying? She's grown, she's a mother, and probably will build your confidence and stuff like that. But for her to sit there, because the first thing that put in my head, I was like, well, where was you at? Because it seemed like y'all everywhere together. So when she was getting dressed, you wasn't in the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, you saw her get your salt shell. You didn't say anything before she left the house. So you allowed her to leave the house. You see what I'm saying? So, and then you were taking those pictures and stuff like that. It had nothing to do with the outfit. It was the fact that she was dancing with Usher. And then, I have standards. And then there's nothing wrong with your standards, stuff like that. But that's something that when you're dating, it needs to be mentioned or established. Hold on for a second. It needs to be mentioned or established. You know what I'm saying? You got to take your time and date people. You know what I'm saying? And then y'all want to hook up, but you're not protecting yourself in that process. Because now you had a child with somebody that you kind of knew and want to try to play off as if you didn't. You knew who she was and how she was. But you can't go get someone that you supposedly love and that's the mother of your child in public. Now, in private, you kind of learn how you really feel about the situation. But the conversation should have been had before you left the house. If you didn't want her dressing like that. But that wasn't the issue. You know what I'm saying? Let her know how you feel. Like, hey, I feel like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like, because relationship kind of like be respectful. You know what I'm saying? Don't be dancing with guys, or when you dance with guys, don't be so close to them. Like, don't grind up on them. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of disrespectful. Because if a girl was dancing up on me, you probably be in your feelings and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You have to be respectful. If you're the type of person that you don't agree with that, then you don't need to be embarking into no relationships. If you're the type of person that you'll see anything wrong with, you feel like, okay, you're the type of person that you don't want a relationship, you're not ready for marriage, or you don't want a relationship. Because then be single, don't get involved, don't live with nobody, don't have babies with nobody. Be single, be you. Because now you're a single mom, a black single mom on top of that. Instead of breaking it, now you're a single mom. And I remember I met him, I don't know what it was, I was like, something about him, because I didn't know him. It was just something about him. You know, sometimes it's something about a person, you don't know what it is, you can't put your finger, but you know there's something about him. And I'm like, well, here's my thing. I'm a woman that I have standards. You know what I'm saying? I have standards, and I have, values and beliefs. And there's a certain way I carry myself, and there's a certain way I expect the man to carry himself, and I expect him to treat me. You know what I'm saying? And I have a certain respect how I feel I should treat you. I'm gonna let it be known off jump. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So I completely get all that. You know what I'm saying? I respect the fact that he has standards, because very, very rare to find a man who has standards like that. But the thing about it is, and this is my other issue, you have standards, but you know what I'm saying, became intimate with her and not had a baby with her before marriage. Because if you have standards, shouldn't your standards also involve, hey, let's wait until we're married before we have children or do anything? You know what I'm saying? To me, I feel you don't have that much of a standard if you're okay, hooking up and having sex and your ass ain't married. It doesn't make sense to me. You know, how you gonna say, well, oh, you're a mom, so you should be dressing like that, or you should be doing this or whatever like that. And let's say they had broken up way before that situation had happened. You wouldn't be saying, you know what I'm saying, I doubt that it would have even been an issue. Let's say they weren't together, a situation right, then he would use, oh, you're a mom, you can't be dancing up on da. Okay, yeah, she's a mom, but she was a woman before she was a mom. She wasn't always a mom. She wasn't always a mom. She was a woman. She was always a woman. She was always her own person before she became a mom. Just like you were your own person, you were a man before you became a father. Because there are men out here who disrespect the mother or the children or the girlfriends or their wives. That's real close on people and stuff. But they're going to sit and say, look, but they're defensively, oh, it was just fun, and you know what I'm saying, it means nothing to me, and you expect us to be understanding, but in turn, you know what I'm saying, if you did, but then when the shoes on the other foot, there was no understanding. So I bet you it's the roles reversed. He would probably been like, I don't see the big deal, da. So how you gonna get upset when, and you probably would be a type of person, you probably wouldn't do that, but you need to figure out who you're with. You had a baby and they know she was that type of person that would do that after you had a baby with. You see what I'm saying? Take your time, slow down, get to know people. In the Bible said Adam and Eve knowed each other. Meaning they knew who when they were sleeping with each other, they knew each other when they were sleeping with each other. You got a lot of people that's sleeping with people that they don't know. They are sleeping with people that they don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's always rushing and stuff like that. And you want to say, oh, we're not in a relationship, we're not together, we're just da. When you become intimate with somebody, when you put your private parts inside somebody's private parts, or let somebody's private parts come in you, or you got your face in his crotch, your face in her crotch, so there is no, we just having fun. To most women, there's a connection, especially if they're told you, they're looking for something serious. But if you got standards, you got values, you got beliefs, it needs to be known up front. Let them know, like, this is the why aspect, this is I expect you to move at as a woman. But don't make it seem as if like you're telling her what to do. You better let her know this is the why I expect. So I'm trying to figure out what type of woman are you. Is this something you can do, you can be? Because you're changing that person. There's some people that's not who they are. That's not who Keke is. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to waste your time in trying to change somebody. You want that person to already be that way. You know what I'm saying? No matter how much you might love them, you think, because you think, no matter how much you love them, and you might think that this is someone you want to be with. You know what I'm saying? The person God has for you, that person's already going to be who you need them to be, especially in that type of sense. You don't have to change that person. And that's something I had to learn. I've been involved with relationships with guys. I have guys, and I have values and beliefs. And they'll try to excuse me, well, I'm a man, I was really going to try to hook up with you. So I'm like, no. I'm like, that's BS, because when somebody's telling you that's their religious beliefs, that they want to be married before they become intimate, before they live with you, before they have children, how can you justify disrespecting that and trying to to pressure me into being intimate with you, or you knew how important that was to me, you know. So it kind of lets me know if you really cared. But the fact that we've only been there for about a week or whatever, and you're already coming at me about it, we haven't been together that long, so it kind of lets me know what type of person you are. It lets me know the type of woman that you usually deal with, and you're the type of person that you are hooking up or just out there having fun. But I'm not that person. So instead of trying to pressure me, but you're trying to get me to change and be somebody that I'm not, respect who I am and go find somebody that's similar. Go out there and find somebody that's similar to you. The best thing, the thing you need to do is find somebody that's kind of like you. Then we ain't worry about changing that person, but you also gotta be mindful of that, because sometimes somebody who's like you, they might be like you to the 10th power. They might be a little bit to the extreme, and you're not. And you're like, oh, hold up, you know what I'm saying? So, especially when it comes to party, you might have someone you meet, or you both like the party, but she might like the party to the extreme, or he might like the party to the extreme. Just like you're a spiritual person, so, but you got some people that are spiritual to the extreme. They feel like, oh, because we're this, we can't drink. Oh, because we're this, we got to wear suits all the time. We got to wear a dress all the time. You can't wear a hat. You know what I'm saying? Because I was in a relationship with a Hispanic guy who was like that. Oh, because, we're Christians, we can't. Who said because you're a Christian, you can't have a glass of wine? Who said because you're a Christian, you have to, every time you go to church, you got to wear a suit or have a nice little dress on? Show me the Bible that says there. Because basically what you're saying is, oh, God's not going to accept you. If I were with him, oh, he's not going to accept me. He's not going to hear me. When I go to God and pray and talk to him, because of how I'm dressed, he's not going to hear me. He's not going to receive it. That's not true. There are people who are down in ditches and stuff, and God's pulling them out. You know what I'm saying? God has pulled people out where they, in the middle of their dirty ass stuff, with some guy. When they sit here hoeing and selling their body, and God is right there to pull them out of it, and they're just looking horrible and disgusting. They're not in the suit or dress, or they're not all cleaned up and walking on boot. It's like, no, you don't have to be. God will pull you out about your mess when you dirty, broke, busted, not clean, half naked. He pull you right up out of there. You can sit and come to him just like that. He gonna pull you up out of there. And it really bothers me because he was new to it too. He was an older guy, and he had his demons, alcohol, stuff like that. So when he met someone who knew God, they were telling him about God from how he was probably talked to them, how they understood it. You know what I'm saying? He never, when they should just gave him the Bible, say like, and just like, they should have said, I understand my God's like, God is here, God loves you, which is true. God loves you. Despite what you're doing, God loves you. He will be there. If you go to God and pray, they should just say, here's the Bible. Just read it and pray to God, and He'll guide you, because even God will minister to you. You know what I'm saying? He'll guide you with the Bible on how to help you, how you get through. But don't put your stuff on. Let them figure it out for themselves. What they believe, how they feel, or what God tells them to do. Let God come and tell them how they're supposed to be when they go to church, or how they're supposed to present themselves to Him when they come to Him. Not based on what you think, in your opinion, and what churches have told you. So I don't know how we got to reach off, but anyway. But my point was, I'm trying to find how we got off this part, but standards and beliefs, and you have to stand strong. And that's what I've been doing. I say right here, right now, I'm 39 years old, and I'm a virgin because I stand strong in my beliefs. I stand strong in it. And I've even had guys who said and try to be funny, like, so basically you're saying that you're not going to have sex. I said, I never said that. I said, what I said was, I'm waiting until I'm married. I said, you're trying to sit there like, because we've had this conversation from the beginning. You knew where I stood. You knew how I felt, what I believed. And what happened was, there was a guy that we had dated for a month and a half. We broke up. So it was kind of like on and off like a year. But we, you know what I'm saying? So now it's been a whole year, and still like, why? And he couldn't believe that here was a whole year. I said, and I said, yeah. I said, that's how serious it is to me. But I never said this, I was never going to have sex. You're just trying to flip it and make it seem bad, or they try to make me look like stupid or bad because you're upset because he was upset that he couldn't get in between my legs, so he was trying to flip it or whatever. But I have standards. I have values and beliefs. And if you don't agree with them, you don't support them, that's not your thing, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? You expect somebody to respect the fact that, okay, like, you don't believe that stuff. You expect somebody to accept you who you are and be okay with your values and beliefs, even if you don't agree with them. But but you don't give that in return. But you don't sit there when I tell you my values, you don't respect them because it's preventing you from getting what you want. You know, so it's really been hard to find that guy God has for me. You know, so um, and I had I have a problem. My other promise that I had did on camera, it had messed up when I relaxed my hair. The perm had that some of the diamonds that came out. So, but I wear my promise ring every single day. And I think it was early this year, sometime last year, I made a promise to God, my future husband, that I'm saving myself for my husband or until marriage. You know, I did a little video, I posted it and stuff. So, and I wear this ring every day. I think there was one time I went to work, I didn't have it because when I take a shower, I take it off, and I forgot to grab it when I usually put it back on at night, like I have it on now. And so I get one, it's already on and stuff, and I just forgot one night. There were a couple times I had forgot to put it on and I get out but mainly because I'm getting in the shower, and so getting in and out of the shower, and really this is like a wedding band, but I made it because it's the only thing to me. I felt it was silver, or close enough to be it could be a promise ring. Um, but I anointed it and prayed, and I held it up. I said, this is symbolizes my promise. You know what I'm saying? So this ring right here will never come off until I meet the man God has for me. He proposed, and then that man can take that ring off and put the engagement ring on. But it's not coming off until, saying it right here, right now, live, until a proposal. The only thing that can go here is the engagement ring for the man that God has for me. And but you gotta let it be known from the beginning. You're gonna have some people that's gonna have, especially for women, it's hard because you're gonna have that man that's gonna have that resistance and I'm not. I live in the world, but I'm in the other world. I know it's gonna pressure me to do what man says, because what man says is in line with the will of God. So you're not gonna by sitting here pressure me, and you have to find. And to me, I feel the best thing for them, because clearly they're not the same. Because the fact that they're the same fact that they're both okay with hooking up before marriage, but if you have standards, why you gonna, take the time? Like, I wish people sit there and date somebody for 6 months, just date them. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to be your man. They don't have to be your boyfriend. Because really, when you date someone, that person, your dating person determine whether or not you want them to be your boyfriend or you want them to be your girlfriend. That's why you're dating, to determine whether or not is this someone I can see as my boyfriend, as my girlfriend. So dating for about 6 months. Hey, let's just start being friends, and we just hang out together for 6 months as friends and to try to get to know each other, figure each other to determine whether or not. Because you'll learn a lot for 6 months. Because a person can only fake for so long. They can only fake for so long. And after that 6 months, you feel like, okay, that's person. Because how long were they together? And we really don't know how long they was together. But the minute they had a baby, and that happened immediately, it was like, oh, and bam, bullshit, but just like that. That baby ain't even 6 months old. Because she's had a baby about 2, so the baby, so 2-3 months after him already. So what she did, because if she hadn't had a baby, he still had an issue with it, because he would have been like, oh, he would say something, oh, but your relationship, though, that's not appropriate. Because before she was a mom, she was dressing like that. You saw her. And the videos and stuff she was doing, she was dressing like that. And then she becomes a mom, now it's an issue. Which to me, I think that's messed up, because she was always she's always going to be a woman. I know people think once you become a mom, or you're not a woman anymore. She was a woman before she was a mom. And best you telling her now that she's a mom, or you're a mom now, you're not a woman anymore, so you can't be a woman anymore. No. You don't stop becoming a woman because you became a mom. That's not how that works. But you have to make some adjustments. And when you're in a relationship, you're not single anymore. So there's some things that, because technically you are single because you're not married, but if I know I'm in a relationship with someone, there are certain things that it's like, okay, because I'm with the relationship person is serious and I really care about them, there are certain things you kind of going to have to adjust a little bit. Like, okay, I can't, usually when I go to the club, I would dance with other guys, or usually if I was going to a concert and see Usher or a male artist I really like, that's what I probably would do when I was single. But technically I'm not single, so I'm involved with this guy, so I can't do that. And you also have to think that's probably new for her, too. That means something that's serious, especially when you have a child with someone. Because she's a first-time mom, this is her first, something like that. And that's probably the first time where she was in a situation where she was in a relationship with somebody and she had to go to a concert. See, you know what I'm saying? Because for years she probably was going to concerts. She was single. So it's her first time going, and she was in a relationship with somebody because it's new territory for her. And then one time in the comments I read, and I said, we know it's probably a new territory for her. It's a learning experience for her as well. You know what I'm saying? She's new to being a mom and being in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the first relationship I know of her that she was in, and it was serious like that. Because other than that, you haven't heard about you never saw someone comment and she was dancing with somebody. Because Keke been around for years. I'm pretty sure she's been to a lot of concerts, and I once had to come out. Oh, you see Keke, she was dancing with us. And only reason it made that big of a deal was because of the fact that he said something. But we just gotta be mindful. You know what I'm saying? If you're in a relationship with someone, respect that person. Just like you want that man to respect you. You know what I'm saying? Respect that man. It goes both ways. Respect the man and men respect the woman. You know, because don't waste our time. But when you allow that man, it's like, why would someone buy the cow when they can get the milk for free? If I'm already getting milk free, why would I buy the cow? So that's a lot of men think. But then you already give me this and that. I'm living with you. You cooking, cleaning. You gave me a child. You giving it up to him. Like, why would I sit there and put a ring on it when I'm already getting everything? The same thing. Why would I sit there and buy a cow when I'm already getting all this daggone milk? I got milk coming to me every day to me for free, so why would I sit there when you bring me a cow to my door? Why would I buy it when I'm already getting milk for free? You see what I'm saying? You women got to stop being so quick to open up your legs. Because you put yourself in a situation where you're a single mom or you're struggling to it. Because she don't know her career gonna go. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? And I'm thankful that God has blessed her and stuff. But I've heard some of her songs but I just from the videos, you know what I'm saying? I never really watched them or heard them. You know what I'm saying? But like I followed, so it kind of popped up. I never really watched the video because I saw it. But I didn't hear it. I just saw because it was like, God's like, no, this ain't my thing. It was like a little, literally. I watched me like 2 seconds, like, no, this ain't. I could just tell by how the video looked that it wasn't my thing. You know? And so, I can tell it's more tailored to this type of music, this type of sound. And I get it because she's young. She probably like 20, she probably 26. I think I'm older than her. So, but we just had to be mindful. We got a lot of these young kids. That's something else we're talking about. A lot of these young parents and stuff, and the way kids are being raised nowadays it's crazy because this world has changed. It's not how it used to be, and there's no grandmothers anymore. You know, we got grandmothers want to cover and protect the parent and defend the parent's behavior, but in turn around you piss off mad when your grandchild cutting up in your damn house and being disrespectful. But you sit here covering your child's behavior. You know, so but it is what it is. But, you know, take your time. After that 6 months, if you feel like okay, then you know what I'm saying, you go into that. But you kind of bring up those standards again. Last reminder, okay, so this, so like where are we at? How do we feel? You know what I'm saying? If that person still feels the same, like, hey, that's not for me, then you make that decision. Because for 6 months y'all been together, that person has known how you feel, you know how they feel, and despite you guys might have developed feelings, you guys might have developed feelings for each other. And sometimes when you develop feelings for someone, a person is willing to make those compromises, those changes. But it just can't be one person compromising. Both have to, because that's what compromise is. Compromise means everybody kind of gives so that everybody is getting something. Let's both compromise so that way everybody's happy. And so that's been compromise. So it can't be okay. You have to change. She has to change, but you stay the same. Or he has to change, but you stay the same. No, everybody got to change because everybody got something because everybody has something that they need to work on and needs to change. Everybody does. So that's my take on that. Is that like we really should respect that. If you got standards and values, it needs to be closed. Because relationships need to be private, don't need to be out in public. And the conversation should be had before your significant other or girlfriend or spouse leaves out that door. You always knew how you felt, so why the fuck would you let her walk out the door like that? You know? And for you to feel that way, because the usher means, you know, as a man, this is how I feel. When men react that way, it tells me that you know you ain't doing what the fuck you supposed to be doing as a man, or you know that what you do is nowhere near to the level of usher. Because Keke was already doing, Keke been around for a minute. Nobody knows who he is. So there's a little bit of insecurity in there a little bit. It had nothing to do with she's wearing. It's fact that because she wanted, because you was with him. And apparently he was the one who took the pictures of her in the outfit. It's fact that she was with another guy because you ain't do the fuck you supposed to be doing. Because you know you're not as well known. And the only reason people are aware of you and who you are now is because that you was with her ass. Because I didn't know who he was. I'm like, I never heard of him. I don't know what he do. Never seen him until he was with her. Even being with her, I still don't know what he do. Like right now, you said what he do. I'm like, I don't know what he do. I don't remember his name. I can't tell you his name. You said what's his name? I don't know. I can't remember. I can't remember his name. I don't know his name. I don't know what he does because none of that was really disclosed. I think he's some. I don't know because I remember watching the station on YouTube with Terrell. She was talking about they met at some like in his industry party. So I think he knows somebody had been one of the parties, and he's probably, but still, he does something, but still, you're not that well established where you were known before you met her. You know what I mean? So maybe the ego bruised a little bit because she's a little bit more known, but I mean, we've known her for years. You know what I mean? We don't know you. But keep stuff private. You know what I'm saying? Have these conversations ahead of time before you get involved and be having sex and having babies. This something that conversation that should be had. You know, and if that person and if if that person doesn't share the same standards of as beliefs as you, don't waste your time and energy. You know what I'm saying? Think you change because I've been there. Don't do that. Move on. Okay. So you seem like a nice person, cool person, but I don't know if this is gonna work. Let's go ahead and just separate now before feelings get involved or get hurt or get ugly. Just because I'm not one of them. I'm not about to sit here and try to force something. That's another thing. Don't try to force something. Don't try to force anything to work. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to force. Let's just move on. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Maybe as you cut, when a couple years has gone by, maybe you have grown. We both will have grown. Don't say that person guy's gonna offend them. Maybe we both would have grown and matured within that time, and our feelings might have changed. I feeling things. Because right now, sometimes we meet someone, they're in a place in life where they're not ready to be mature and grow up and whatever. They still in part and have fun. But that's why you protect yourself and wrap shit up. There's broken shoulders, condoms. Come on now. All these different type of ways women can do. Come on now. But don't force stuff. I had a guy a little bit older a couple years ago trying to force it. And I remember saying to him, we're from two different areas, And when they ended that, I was cool because there wasn't no feelings involved. Wasn't no disrespect yet. From, either side. And then it was like, Phillips wanted me to change. And, I'm good. Like, well, I need to change for all that stuff. But, so basically it was like, he was saying, I was I need to change. And he didn't have to change. It was BS. And he wanted me to be, you got to be 100%. Like, basically perfect. That's not reality because nobody's perfect. Because he's come from that military background where there's no room for error. Yeah, that stuff applies to the military. In the military, there's no room for error because if an error occurs, somebody could die. Out here in the real world, when you're in a relationship with somebody, that don't apply. You know what I'm saying? Mistakes are going to happen. Yeah, somebody get hurt, somebody would. But I'm a human being, and really, you're a human being. And mistakes are going to happen. So I really don't agree with that because you could be out there and it's going to happen. It's not like it's delivered. It's going to happen because the people that's in those suits, as military, they are human beings, they're going to fuck up and make a mistake. And I don't agree with that philosophy. No room for error. You can't mess up and make a mistake. Because when they come back into civilian life and don't know how to adjust. So he expected me, okay, but there was no room for error. I was like, no. And he kept trying to force it, didn't want to play no. So don't try to force it. Nobody's perfect. You know what I'm saying? Make sure, like, what you want is realistic. You know what I'm saying? To spend might be 100%, be perfect. That ain't realistic. Because the only person that's 100% perfect is God. He the only one. So you can't sit there and tell somebody, that how you do. I just want you to be like God. No. That's basically what you're saying. That's basically what we're saying when he said, I just want you to be 100%. He basically said, I just want you to be Jesus. No. I'm not Jesus or God. Neither are you. And I said back to you, I said the only person that is 100% is perfect is God. I said, oh my God. I said, neither are you. I said, ain't nobody perfect in the world, not including you. I said, you're not even perfect. I said, you're not even 100%. I straight told him. He had texted me. I texted back. As soon as I sent that text message, I went and I blocked his ass because I was done. So I wasn't about to do back and forth with his ass. But if it's realistic, it makes sense, then yeah. But it has to be fair. Because everybody got something that can work. Everybody got something that they need to change or not do anymore. And stuff. So, but we got somebody's rushing. And I take time to get to know somebody. Because that was a common thing people were saying in the comments. You know, y'all didn't have this conversation before y'all got together and this and the third. And when you were dating, this stuff that come up on your dates and stuff. And y'all sitting there, y'all doing all this talking. And that's what bothers me. Because it comes all sense. So you sit there and talk for hours and hours and hours. So, if you talk for hours and hours and hours, how that didn't come up? Because a lot of times people feel when you bring something like that up, oh, they're sort of worried about, oh, that's going to scare them away, or they might, or they think that's too soon, or that's too aggressive, or rushing, whatever like that. Because there are some people who feel that, because there are some people that feel that way. Well, that's because they're not ready. And that's the way trying to protect themselves. So they want to make it seem like, oh, you're too aggressive, oh, you rushing. Why you're anybody rushing? Just like I said to ask somebody, do you have goals? Like, do you have short-term goals, long-term goals? I think because he didn't have it, or they had an answer, or he tried to flip on me and say, well, why are you saying trying to rush? I said, what are you talking? I'm just asking you. I said, those are questions that you're supposed to ask someone when you get to know them, if they have goals, short-term, long-term. Because if you have a goal, your goal, for all you know, if you have a goal, tell that person, her goal might be that same thing, and you and that person can sit there and work on it together and build it up and have your own business and be successful together as a couple. But you got some people who don't think like that. So they're thinking, oh, you trying to, that's because that person ain't got nothing going on. Or a person responds in an aggressive way as if like, oh, and trying to make something is you like, oh, you're being aggressive or you're trying to rush. They don't have any goals. That's not somebody you want to be with. Because if they don't have any goals, how can they push you and motivate you? What they're going to do is they're going to try to pull you and tear you back because they don't have it. And they're so focused on how it's going to make them look. But really, what you're doing is not making them look bad. You know what I'm saying? You're not doing anything. It's them. They're not. They're not doing anything to get themselves there. You know. So there are a lot of things you have to talk about when you just meet someone for the first time. You know, you gotta take your time and talk to them, get to know them. Stop being so quick to hook up. You know, when we were sitting here in our 30s, even our 20s, when we're in our late 20s, come on now, we got to grow up. We can't be doing all this. I'm sick of these single moms, or even single dads out here. Sick of all these kids not having both parents in the house. I'm sick of that. We got to stop all this. Because like this music today is ridiculous. Because a man, when he's really ready to settle down, he want a woman that can cook and clean. Because that tells him that, oh, I know my child's going to be kept clean. I know my child will be fed. My child won't be hungry. Because what woman that can't fucking cook? That means his ass going to starve. His child, he don't want his kids starving. He don't want to starve. He don't want to be eating all the time. I'm not the type of person that eats out like that. Anyway, every once in a while I go out to eat, but I don't eat out like that. So if I don't eat out like that, that means I got to cook. As long as you know how to cook something. Because some people got that signature meal. As long as you cook something. Because I don't have the money where I'm going out all the time. There's some people who eat out all the damn time. I'm like, because the wife don't cook, and of course the man don't know how to cook. But I'm like, and things need to change. You know what I'm saying? Say there's certain things you know how to cook. But say you know how to cook. But do you know how to cook? What do you know how to cook? Okay, well that's be something you cook. Let's say one day you get home for I do, and say that's something you want to eat. Start cooking for the family. It shouldn't be the woman cooking all the time. You know, but we got that mindset. But because the thing was the fastest way to a man's heart is a meal. You know how to cook. The fastest way to a man's heart is food, cooking. You know what I'm saying? Know how to cook. Which is kind of true. You can get them like that, boy. If you know how to cook and throw down, you know what I'm saying? For a woman, I would say the same thing because it's very rare. So if you're a man, you know how to cook, and you sit there and cook all day, this man know how to cook. It means I can get a break a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That'll get us probably a little bit quick too. Because it's very rare. Because it tells us, oh, I can sit there and don't have to cook all the time. He's one of those that he probably won't mind doing it. Because if a man knows how to cook, that opens the door for a question. Be like, well, hey, well, if you know how to cook, how would you feel if in a relationship living with a woman that you had to share responsibility of cooking? Would you have an issue with that? Majority of the men probably gonna say no because he already does it. Because nowadays most men live by themselves. Because if you still got your own place, how the fuck you eating? Then there's no way. Okay, I can say on when you're at work, okay, you shoot yourself out for lunch. You know, because some people do. At my job, I have women that every day they go out and eat for lunch every day. I bet you when they go home, they're probably cooking. You know what I'm saying? Man, something to eat. So some men like they'll go home and they cook for dinner, but they'll do their breakfast at home. They don't do their lunch. But how you afford? I can't afford to do that shit every day. I don't do that shit. I'm surprised I did more. I did it last week when I was surprised I feel a little extra, but you know, and they come on the price that they didn't cook. Because if you say you got your own place, well, how you eating? Cause if you're on your job, you might be off on the weekend. Like I'm off on the weekend. You might be off on the weekend. So you're probably gonna sit there and cook at home. I'm not talking about a sandwich or something. I'm talking about like cook. Cause if you hungry, you can't sit there and ask a woman to know how to cook, and your ass don't know how to do it. But you got your own place. So if you got your own place, and you got these dishes, so who cook if I'm confused? What's the point? You get a place for the kitchen and your ass don't even cook. You know, but anyway, but you gotta learn about that person. You know, change up the roles. Who says that man is supposed to cook? Who says the man is supposed to help out with the kids or do the laundry and stuff? You know what I'm saying? Split the responsibilities. But you got to have conversations. Take the time and try to get to know one another. You know what I'm saying? That was the issue. They didn't have a conversation, they didn't talk. Because there's no way they sat down, had a conversation, and spoke. And she had no idea. And it's possible that they had it, but that wasn't her. Like she wasn't tired of, listen, you're not my husband, I'm not married to you. Like I said, that's part of the thing. You're not my husband, I'm not married to you. And stuff. And technically, I'm a single woman, which is true. So I'm doing what I'm going to keep partnering, whatever. So I bet if they were married, she probably wouldn't have. Honestly, if they were married, she probably would act different if they were married. But it's like, hey, yes, we got a child, but you're not my husband. Yeah, in the way we have a family, in the way we are a family, but you're not my husband. You know, I'm still single, so I mean, she's gonna feel, hey, why not? Why can't I keep partying? You know. Something's gone. Oh, so why can't I not keep partying? You know. So, and some people are like that. You know. But that's why you have to take the time, have that conversation. And if she sat there and told you, and for them to sit there immediately, cause I read it, they was like, right after it happened, it was like they removed each other off each other's Twitter pages and whatever, Instagram, whatever. They're not following each other. So right now, I was like, if this conversation was never had, how you know what I'm saying? Especially if she wasn't how you felt, you didn't tell her. How would y'all just stop following each other like that? So that means the conversation was had. She knew how you felt, but y'all probably knew how she felt. And then once you and so you actually sat there and saw for yourself, I was like, wow, So I was like, okay. And that's why it ended so quick the way it did, because that conversation was already had. It just wasn't no respect in it. And also because the fact that the way he wasn't about it, she probably was like, oh no. Because she probably was learning for him too, like, wow, like she probably was like, I can't believe he would go on social media publicly and say that. He should have had a conversation in private first. And that's probably what it was. He probably didn't talk to her first about it. You know what I'm saying? It was like he probably didn't have a conversation with her first about it. And because I could say like you having a conversation with private and y'all be like, oh, you went, okay, I'm going to go da. Because I don't think he would have went there if he had a conversation with her in private. Unless he was just immature like that and was like, oh, okay, I'm angry, I'm going to go. No. It was he saw it. But I'm like, where were you when she was dancing with Usher? Were you not there? Were you not there? Because how did you know? So that means you had to be either like you knew she was at the concert, so, and then he's following her, so when she posted, he probably saw right there when it went up on the post. And so you didn't have a conversation with her in private. You went straight to, so when you saw the post, you saw the comment right there when you got the post, when you really should have called her. you chose a comment. So you was immediately probably feeling anger. Her, like, I can't believe she would do this to me, as if like she was deliberately hurting you, and she wasn't. It wasn't deliberate. It wasn't intent. So my thing is support each other in public and probably just hash it out. And you take the pictures got out there, you know. So it's just weird because then all of a sudden, boom. So that means that this could have been the issue before. When they first met, so because you got to think, when he married her, she was like, there was at an industry party. So you see her dance with these guys up on the do stuff like that, and she's single. Even though you got established that we're gonna be a relationship, still technically she's single because she's not your wife. So you probably saw her a couple times at places and stuff like that. Well, it was cool because she was the mom yet. Then she becomes a mom, or now it's an issue. So that kind of bothers me a little bit because now it's an issue. Now it's an issue. You know, just like when a man, when he's dating, he knows that you're a strong, independent woman, and you will leave your house 10 o'clock at night to run to get something that you need or take it or whatever. And it's like when your relationship becomes serious and y'all might be living together. Also now it's like, oh, he wants to tell you, oh, you and me, so you can't do that. He's telling you, oh, you can't do it. You can't go out. You can't go out. You know what I'm saying? You need mine. What? I got an issue with that. You knew before the relationship got serious that I would leave like that. I had a situation happen to me. You knew before we got together. You knew I was strong, independent. I had my own place. You knew I was up and leave. But it's a long story how I got to where I ended up staying with him. Temporarily for that moment. But I think I was actually visiting him. Because it was long distance. But then all of a sudden, because when I visited, I'm at your place. If I decided to get him to walk down at 9 o'clock at night, you want to sit there and say, oh, I got an issue with that. I said, well, you knew such. When I said, when I had my own apartment, I said, you didn't see that issue. He was like, no, I had an issue. I said, I didn't say anything because it was your place. I can't tell you, when you know what I'm saying, that you can leave your apartment. It was your apartment, you know what I'm saying? And because we were dating, was living together, but now we living together. Oh, you can't such what? So now that we're together, now it's like, oh, I got an issue with that. But you knew I was strong, independent. But for some reason in mind, he just knew in his mind, oh, that's going to change when you get with me. It was an ego thing. It was a pride thing because he grew up in a different area. And that was the issue with me. So that's how we fell out. Because you knew from the beginning. That's why I'm so strong. And I keep saying, from the beginning, you knew. When you meet someone, you see how they move. Because you done visit me at my apartment a couple times. Nothing ever happened. As many times you've been to my apartment, you knew you knew it was mine. I had my own apartment. I was paying all the bills by myself. Nobody was helping me. You know what I'm saying? If I had to go to the store to do anything, I had a whole thing. I had a whole thing figured out how I would go to the store, and how I would get to the store and get home. I had a whole thing mapped out. I would take the bus there, because I knew when I would go to the store, I'd get so much. I'll take a taxi back, so I couldn't carry all that stuff, And I was going to school at times, so I was getting a refund, so I could do all that. I could take the bus, even when I started getting my refund. I said I could take the bus and take a cab back, and I could afford it. Because I lived like, the Walmart was like 15 minutes from my house. So at that time, it did no more than $10, $12. And that's how I was doing it. And I had been doing that for years. For 3 years, I had been doing that. And then, so I met him like the last year I was there because I was getting ready to go stay with my sister or whatever. Man, so all the years I've been doing that. You ain't about to sit up here. I said, for years. I said, then it's like being treated as if I don't know how to keep it with the key. I was in that apartment for 3 years. If it's my apartment, my name, so who would they be keeping up with that key? Nobody else has that key. It was stuff like that. But then once that, once he said that to me, it was an issue. Because don't nobody run me to tell me what to do. Because I had a job, I was working, I had my own place. So the only thing I didn't have was I didn't have my own car. Bob said, but I knew how to read that map because I was doing the public bus. I knew how to read that post to get from my house to my job. And that's really how he met me. I was doing laundry. First time he met, I think I was doing laundry. And I went to the bus and he was sitting there. Then I saw him again. And this was around like November. So I was in the process of moving. He was like, wow, I really moved. I was like, yeah. So he knew he was the type of person. He didn't want to be in this relationship. Look, He knew he was the type that he didn't want to be in a long distance relationship. So why even? So when you knew I was gonna move, why even pursue me? So I was like, I'm moving. He was like, dang. So by the time he had approached me to say he was interested, because the first time he didn't say anything. He just said, hey, hi. He didn't really say, hey, I like you, seem cool. It was to the second time, and he decided to let me know. Well, it's too late. Now I'm saying about the move. You know how you feel about long distance relationships. You don't really consider yourself in a relationship, and that person ain't. There's some people who think that way because that person ain't physically there or in my relationship. And that was the issue. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't know until it was all this back and forth, this mess. And he thought he had to say it one time. I'm like, well, if you knew you wasn't, this all tends to being upfront. He was like, I'm not really a fan of. I said, if you're not really a fan, means you always knew that you were the type of person that you didn't like long distance relationship. You didn't want to be in one. So when you approached me in November, we was at that bus stop. You knew I was moving. Cause I said, I'm good. I said, well, I'm moving. You know, I'll be moving in December. And stuff like that. So why would you continue to pursue me? Would you thought I was going to change my mind and stay for your ass? Now, I'm not feeling sitting and changing for somebody that I've only talked to for a month and a half. We weren't talking that long. I'm not you. He was that type of person. So now he's doing all this hurt and pain because of the decision he made his past. He rushes. Which goes back to my earlier statement. When you rush all the time, you rushing into stuff because y'all still want to fuck all the time. So you rushing so you take time to get to know this person and all this fucked up shit that happened. Well, I know she was on drugs. And I'm like, how know this person Ryan did it? We rushed. I said, that's why you know she was on drugs. Because you was rushing to get involved with someone because you wanted to hook up. You was thinking with your dick. You use one pussy. You know what I mean? And you won't play a victim, but you're not the victim. You got the responsibility for your pain. And then this girl said, and then you want somebody that was pregnant. God found me a woman that was already pregnant, carrying this man's child. This man was up in jail. I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy. I'm like, why would you sit there, first of all, approach a woman that's pregnant? I mean, stomach out. You know she's pregnant. You know what I'm saying? That don't make no sense to me. I can't sit there, oh, poor you. I don't feel bad for you. Because, like, why would you do that? You know that ain't your baby, so you going to sit up here and be fucking somebody that got somebody's baby in their stomach. That's disgusting. You know? And, that is, that is disgusting. You know, so a lot of things, so when he was telling my pet, I'm like, well, I can see why, you know, but I'm not the cause of that hurt and pain. I said, that person, and you are the cause of your hurt and pain, because you was rushing. You know, had an issue where a bad when he lived with somebody, so he didn't want, okay, fine with me. You know what I'm saying? But you're the problem, you're the issue, you know what I'm saying? But again, conversations have to be held. You let somebody know up front, because then you're wasting that person's time, you're wasting your time, and then something messed up is said. You know what I'm saying? You're in offending someone or hurting somebody. The stuff wasn't brought to the attention at the beginning. And honestly, I didn't think I was gonna sit here this long and talk, but I can't think about it because I was about to close out. But basically, like, you know, you gotta be upfront from the beginning. Like, of course, you want to scared about it, so take time to kind of get to know that person. But then eventually, if you start to feel like, okay, it's getting a little serious, and so before it might go there, let me let this person know how I feel, where I stand. You know what I'm saying? And don't be afraid. That person a hater. Well, you know what? It's nice meeting you. It's nice going out with you. You seem like a nice, cool person, but it's probably not gonna work because I believe this and one of these things, and you don't want that. You don't believe that, and that's cool. But we ain't gonna work saying. So we don't need waste each other's time. Sometimes you gotta stop it right then. Don't let it go further because you're so desperate to want to have somebody, or to just say just so you can say, oh, you're in a relationship or whatever. You know, I was never desperate, but I always wanted to be, because I don't need no man. I always wanted to be in a relationship. And so that's where a lot of mine came from. Because I never, and I'm learning from my experiences, I never sat there, well, I always tell them from the beginning, but the first time, I didn't date when I was in high school, so the first time I was in a relationship, I was like 20-something. So I really didn't know no better. So I was actually learning as an adult about dating and how to, you know, so I didn't realize until I got a little bit older. So I'm at a point now, I'm gonna be honest with you, upfront with you, and if it's and I'd rather you be honest with me. Don't lie to me and say you're the same way too. You're the same. You know it's really not that. You know what I mean? Cause you know how it is, like God would sit there and say it just because, oh yeah, me too. But that's not really how they're just saying it, thinking that, oh, if I say, if I sit there and say that, it'll allow me to get close to her, it'll allow me to get close to her real quick, and then, oh, maybe she'll allow me to. But I'm basically telling you my values and beliefs. You know what I'm saying? So what makes you think that, oh, if you sit there and say you're the same way, oh, that make her get put out to me quick? But I'm telling you. So basically, you don't believe me, or you think this you or so whatever that you can convince me to go against my values and beliefs. So right there, I definitely don't want a man that his gender is like, oh, I'm gonna be the one. I want to be the one. You know, like it's some type of award or prize or whatever. Like, no, we not about to sit up here and do that. You know what I'm saying? You want to be the one saying, so, oh, I took her or this whatever. No, we ain't finna do that. You know, and so I'm at a place now where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna tell you if you've been saying that's not who you are, you're against it, and you know what? Hey, you're still a nice person, but clearly we're not gonna work. You're not a person for me. I'm not the person for you. You gotta find somebody for that's similar to you. Not gonna find somebody similar to me, and don't allow that person to force it on you or push it because they might be like, no. I've been in a situation before where I had a guy who was trying to force it. He knew where I stood. He knew how I felt. Like, no. Because I want to be around somebody that's going to be pressuring me, nagging me about sex. So I'm making it clear. I'm not fucking to my husband. Like, this ring. So I'm going to show them the ring and everything. Like, I'm dead serious. So this is what this ring stands for. This ring right here will not come off. These letters will not open till there's a ring on this finger, engagement ring, and a wedding band. This ring ain't going nowhere to engagement. Until there's an engagement ring on here. These letters are not opening until there's a wedding band. We are married. That's how serious I am. Like, I don't know how to no other way to let a man know that I'm serious. You know. Sometimes you might have to go to the stream, or I'm the type of person I really don't go out like that. And I feel like, you know what, the person God has with me, he'll find me. I said all the time, when I'm out and about, the person God has me, you better be out there. I'm at the store, I'm at work, I might be running an errand while I'm at work. I couldn't know that ever since I have a car, all those sorry dudes I don't run to anymore. So I'm in my car. See, those guys out there, I didn't have a car, I was riding the bus. I was like, if I was riding a bus, I probably don't think I would have dated half of those guys. So I'm low. My secrets, my freedom, my peace. Because with a car, how can you meet somebody? Because you're in your car, unless they can see you, you know. I'm trying to holler, but so when I'm driving, I'm focused. I don't be looking all left. Now, if I'm at a light, even if I'm at a light, I'm looking straight. Because I'm looking at the car in front of me, waiting for that light to see and change. I just sit and think about it. I don't look to the left, I don't look to the right, I don't focus. Somebody was trying to holler at me in my house when I know. You know. Because I run errands on my lunch break. There are times actually I will go into the Dollar Tree. You know what I'm saying? Or I might go into Family Dollar. So if I'm running errands on my lunch break, I will go into Family Dollar, go to Dollar General. The person that God has for me, you know what I'm saying? While I'm out and about, he'll show up at the Family Dollar Tree or whatever, Dollar General. But when I'm home, oh well. I post every once in a while on Instagram. You can learn about me through my Instagram posts. You can tell what I like, what I'm into, you know. But you gotta stay strong in it and don't waver, don't give. You know, you have to be patient. You know what I'm saying? Because God's a patient God. And I'm patient right now, waiting on God to bring my husband. Am I ready? Yes, I'm ready. Because I'm independent. I got my own car. I got my own. I've always been independent. I always had my own. The only thing I did not have was a car, but it's time for being independent because I knew how to ride that bus and get from point A to point B. That bus was my transportation, you know. So don't ever, you know what I'm saying, bend or compromise for anybody, especially when it comes to your values and beliefs, you know. Sometimes now there are some things, you know what I'm saying, you might have to change. You know what I'm saying? Because you can involve someone, and depending on what they do, you might have to move and act a certain way. If you're going to a particular place, you might have to. You can't be showing up, talking and speaking, and all getting being loud and shit. You know what I'm saying? When you're out about public, you gotta walk and talk like you got some daggone sense. You know what I'm saying? I ain't loud like that. You know what I'm saying? When I go to restaurants and places, I'm not loud. I'm not ghetto. If I'm having a conversation with someone, I'm at a respectable tone. You know, I ain't ghetto like that. No, you know what I'm saying? I talk. But if I'm at home, I'm chilling, relaxing, like right now, ain't why they talk perfect? I'm at home, ain't nobody here. Ain't nobody here. I'm home. Like I'm not about to sit here and be bougie all day long, 24 damn 7. I mean, there are people that they're at home and ain't nobody, and they still got. It's like they gotta be on. Oh, okay, somebody who is they? Or somebody might come up, somebody might call, and that's sad lot to have. That you got to be on because what somebody call? Well, you're home. So when you're talking, they're like, "Why you sounding like?" Oh, because I'm home. I said I'm at home at my house by myself, and I'm relaxed. And this is how I am when I'm at home. I said when I'm out in public or at work, I speak and talk and move a certain way, but because of for my job, because that's what they expect of me. But when I'm at home and I'm off the clock, this is how I am. Now, yes, you're my boss or whatever, but you're calling me at home and I'm actually off the clock. So this can't be held against me. I'm at home. What do you need? Even if if church people or whatever, sometimes be honest. Hey, I'm at home in my bed, relaxed, watching TV, and when I'm home, I'm relaxed. Because you're a little wearing yourself out, want to be bougie all the time. You can't even relax. You walk around with a stick up your butt in your own damn house. You walk around like that for 8 hours. Then you come home, you still walk around with a stick in your ass. You gotta relax. You gotta relax. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things you gotta do for your job, or you know what I'm saying, for your spouse when you're doing certain places. That's a comment. Okay, when we're out and about in public, it's nothing for me because I'm the type of person when I go out in public, I'm that way anyway. I'm not whatever. But when I'm home to relax, let's chill, let's cut up, whatever. You know. I know how, even right now, I'm not talking slang or ghetto. I'm not loud or raising my voice. There are times I'll act silly and whatever like that. And I was saying, this guy had an issue with that. He was like, you know what I'm saying? I don't like you being. He said being ghetto. I said, excuse me. I said, I'm not ghetto. He was like, well, you just said there and said that word you just said. That was. I said, I spoke in a ghetto tone. I said, but as a person, I said I'm not ghetto. I said, you saying that you don't like the fact that when I'm ghetto, I'm not ghetto. I said, first of all, second of all, I was playing and joking around. I said, we were in the house. I said, there's nobody around, and you can't even sit there and fucking relax because he had a job. He was on call, but still, you at home. I said, I can't even sit there and relax and have fun, just cut loose because you want to be bougie all the damn time. Like you home, you can't even fucking relax. You go to school to get educated, but I have a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, but that doesn't mean that because I went to got a degree that I can't sit there and relax and have fun and just you sit here with a stitch behind anybody here. Your boss saying nobody's here, and you want to sit up here and say that I don't like it when you're being ghetto. I said being. I said what you. Yeah, I called him out. I said first of all, I was playing around. I said, that's not who I am. You'll be acting ghetto, being all ghetto. So I said first of all, I said who here? I said who's here? I said just me and you. I said we're home. I said I'm not at work. I said I'm not gonna walk around. I said when I'm at work, I just say be proper. I talk to my parents a certain way and be this and that and that. And the third, so when I come home, I have a right to relax. I said I'm not talking to a parent. I said you're not at work. I said you're not talking to your people. I said I'm not gonna walk around with a stick on my skin. I said well, as a person, that's not who I am. I said but I'm not ghetto either. I'm not even playing around, but he was just so. I said you so damn serious. I said you think to. I said you mind to. You can't say fucking relax. You can't just fucking let go. And so you sitting here kind of ruining shit. Okay, we was kind of chilling, had a good time. You kind of just fucked it up by disrespecting me. I said you basically disrespected me by accusing me of being as a person. 'Cause a lot of times he would say it. as of like in general as a person. This is who I am. That's not who I am. Cause I was ghetto. I was saying how Cardi B talking. Cardi B talk. You can't say nothing she's saying when she talking. Ain't nothing like she. When a person is ghetto, they don't talk in complete sentences. They don't write in complete sentences. You have to be like, well, you have to decode. You ain't got to decode me. Since I've been talking, you don't have to decode me. I had to stop, take a couple breaths to slow myself down. But you ain't got to decode me. You know exactly what I'm saying. Cardi B talking, everybody like, what the fuck they saying? Just like when you go on Facebook, people will write how they talking. I'm saying, I'm at that for years. I've been like, if I gotta sit up here and I can't even figure out what you say, I said, I'm not finna waste my time reading your post and you talking how you writing how you talking. I ain't about to wrap my brain out. I said, if you go on my Facebook page, none of my stuff is ghetto. I write in complete sentences because I write how I talk. I talk in complete sentences. If I didn't talk in complete sentences, my post would be, look at my posts. They are complete sentences. There are complete sentences. I don't have a like little certain. Now there are certain things I probably would code, but majority of the time, even in my text messages, yes, even by text, it's complete sentences. I don't use code. If I say when I say see you later, I spell CSEEUYOU later. Some people do see the letter C and the letter U. See you later. No, I spell it out because I'm just that person when it comes to grammar. Certain things I make sure, you know. And I'm not taking letters. I'm trying like when sometimes I'm reading comments. I'm like, what the hell am I reading? I can't make these comments. I'm like, what the? No. So I don't like that. So I say I'm ghetto. Because if I was sitting there and talk to you, you could understand me. I said when I speak and we're having a conversation, I said I got a bachelor's degree and master's degree. So when we sit there and have these conversations, am I not intellectual? That's who I am. I'm still playing around right now. I said, but when we be serious, I said, when do you ever hear me talk like that? I said, when we're serious and going in. Or like even just in real conversation, say we weren't serious and we were just really talking. When have you ever heard me talk and my stuff wasn't clear? I was taking words out. I said when. I said when. I said so. When ever said they called me get I said like as a person, that's who I am. And so and one day I had to call me. I said stop. I said I don't like when you saying these. I said no, I'm not. I said first of all, I was playing just like I talked the other day at the house. I'm playing around. I said, but don't sit there and try to make it seem like as a person, that's who I am. You can't tell me who I am as a person. Don't sit and tell me that, oh, I'm ghetto, like as a person in general. That's not who I am. Because when I sit there and talk to him, a lot of times we were talking through text messages. When have I ever sit there and send you a text message and you couldn't make out what I was saying to you? When? Think about all the times we talk more through text messages than we do on the phone. Then when we were having a conversation on the phone, when did I ever speak ghetto? When did you have to sit there and ask me to, I had to code me or ask me to explain what I just said? The one because I was talking ghetto, it's because I might have spoken a little too fast, or I had to use like an example. Because if I sit there and try to go to YouTube impatient, you be like, oh, well, just whatever. So then whenever I sat there and said, just like I just said it, well, I understand what you're saying. Can you explain what you're trying to say? Like, because I might just say how I felt. He was like, well, I don't understand. Can you break it down a little bit? But see, if I said and try to break it down from the beginning, he would like, just say it. So now when I just say it, so now I have to sit there. Every time after I just say it, I kind of have to break it down to him. But if I try to break it down, they're too impatient to hear it. You know what I mean? But anyway, it's about conversation. You know what I'm saying? Nobody is inferior to anybody. And we have that issue in relationships. Or you think you got this thing where, oh, because of this, I'm inferior to you. Or because, that, you know what I'm saying, I have the power because if I do it, I can't tell you that because that give you power. Be telling you that I love you. Like, what? It's all these little crazy things. That's why I take time to get to know people. Because a person can only be with someone for so long. That's why I say 6 months. Because once you hit about 6 months, after a while, stuff start coming out. And a person will show you who they really are. When a person shows you who they really are, believe them. Accept it. And you got to be honest with yourself. Is this what I signed up for? Is this what I want in a guy? If I know I want to have kids, is this type of man with a role model for my children? You know what I'm saying? This somebody I could be with. I don't know this somebody I want to be with because be honest with yourself. And that's a mistake a lot of people make. They're not being honest with themselves. Because you're not being honest, you're thinking that's something you're okay when you're not. until it's an issue. You know, so that's something I'm learning. Like, nah, I'm tell you up front, and if it's on the first date, if you tell me say or do anything, let me know. They're like, oh, you don't. Okay, you know what? You seem cool. So sometimes you gotta do it to protect yourself. You have to do that to protect yourself from future hurt. Because then what's gonna happen is you're gonna hate this person, like this person, resent this person. They're gonna end up affecting you. And I'm still dealing with the mental emotional trauma from the first relationship that I was in. You know what I'm saying? Because once again, this is my first relationship ever. You know what I mean? So I didn't know. So I'm still dealing with a lot of that. It affects you because of the type of person he was and the type of abuse and what he did to me. You know, so sometimes it protects you from that. Because you won't be sitting here years later and you still recall shit or it still affects you because they've hurt you in that way. Because in manipulative, emotional way. Like mental and emotional abuse, like physical abuse, you can see the scar. So you know when that scar's going to heal up. But when someone hurts you mentally and emotionally, you can't see that scar. You can't see that mental emotional, so you don't know you don't know when you're going to be healed from it. You can't look at it like, oh, about a couple days, you can't, you know. So that's all you have to be mindful. You know what I'm saying? Because then now you have to sit there and constantly keep healing from what has been done to you. So the best way to protect yourself is cut that stuff short. A lot of times I'm about, damn, you know what I'm saying? Was I wrong? Was I too harsh? You know what I'm saying? Maybe because there's always going to be some what ifs. Or maybe, you know what I'm saying, I was wrong, but maybe that I was wrong for doing that. I wasn't supposed to do that. Maybe that was a mistake. No. If that's the case, you go to God and you pray. You know. Make that moment, make that decision. When you get home, go to God, pray about, like, God, you know, this was a situation. I just want to come to you. Oh, sorry. I forgot I was recording. I just want to come to you, consult with you to just make sure what I did was the right decision. Always consult God. Anytime you, for anything, relationships, jobs, a house, car, buying a house, buying a car, anything, consult God. But like I said, don't force anything. Take your time. Be about 6 months. Be honest up front. You know what I'm saying, about how you feel, your stance and beliefs, what you expect, what you like, what you don't like, and you know, if that person says to you, hey, well, I believe this, and it's the opposite, just like, hey, well, you know what, you're still a nice person. I wish you all the best, good luck, and depart, because that's not the person God has for you, because that never would have happened. I think two people were trying to force something, make something work, just like, you know, or there was no honesty, or it probably was maybe like, I don't know, but I think there was a conversation at some point. A conversation was had between the two, because then when it happened, it broke like that. All of a sudden, lived within that same day, or by the next day, they stopped following each other on Instagram. They no longer. It was like, okay, so this was a conversation that was had, you know. So it is what it is. And I think it got to the point that when you had that change of comments, because then you're like, you know what, this is who I am. And you know what, I thought that, you know what I'm saying, but, and he knew who I was, and he told him, but that it's not just for me. And they had to make that decision, that choice. But for some people, it's like that. But I'm trying, but I want to be able to let people know it's okay to sit there at the beginning, nip it in the bud, and be like, okay, this probably not going to work. If somebody's telling you, like, and I don't know why people think they can change someone. You can't change a person. You can't change a person. You know, that person saying, well, this is who I am, I like to do this, and you know that's not you. Why do you feel that, oh, well, you know what I'm saying, I think if we hit off and it seems like we were told, like, maybe her feelings for me will cause her to sit there and change. A person got feelings for it and still don't change. That mean they didn't love you. They could really love you, care about you, but that's not who they are. It doesn't go along with them and stuff. So, you know, don't ever try to change a person. The person God has for you when it comes to certain things, especially when it comes to values, standards, and beliefs. God's going to make sure that person shares those same standards, values, and beliefs. He's going to make sure that person kind of moves someone like you did. Okay? So, always consult God. Take your time. Don't try to change nobody. Don't try to force it. Be upfront. You know what I'm saying? Patience. Move slow. be friends. Be friends and hang out with each other for 6 months as friends, and but be dating and getting to know each other. But that ain't your boyfriend or that ain't your man. You ain't his woman, whatever. And just take your time. So I love y'all. God bless. I hope this reaches somebody, touch somebody. I'm gonna spend the bill here this long, but my mind started going because I do another video. I love you guys. God bless.